There is a child right now, maybe yours, who is watching you. Not watching the way you think. They're watching how you handle it when things go wrong. They're watching whether you stay calm or fall apart. They're watching whether the world feels safe or terrifying. And here's the truth most parenting books won't tell you. A child's sense of calm doesn't come from rules. It comes from you. Every child has the potential to grow up feeling emotionally grounded, steady, secure, able to face hard things without falling apart. But that kind of confidence doesn't happen by accident. In this video, we're going to look at 5 deeply human, psychologically backed ways to raise a child who is calm inside, even in a chaotic world. And we'll follow Sarah and her 7-year-old son, Liam, because their story might feel a little too familiar. Way 1. Become the calm they cannot find yet. It's 7:15 on a Tuesday night. Liam has been sitting at the kitchen table for 40 minutes. His math worksheet is supposed to take 20. 3 problems are done. The rest are blank. He stares at problem 4. His leg bounces under the table. And then, quietly, so quietly, he tears the corner of the paper. Sarah walks in from the other room, sees the crumpled worksheet, sees his face, and something in her chest tightens. Liam, it's almost bedtime. Why isn't this done? I don't know how. We went over this last week. I know. So what's the problem? And Liam goes silent. Not defiant, not dramatic, just gone, like something closed behind his eyes. Here's what Sarah doesn't know in this moment. Liam is not being difficult. He is not lazy. He is not trying to frustrate her. He is flooded. When a child hits emotional overload, when frustration, exhaustion, and shame pile up all at once, something happens in their brain that makes thinking almost impossible. Literally impossible. The rational, problem-solving part of their mind goes offline. It doesn't matter how smart they are. It doesn't matter if they knew the material last week. In that moment, Liam doesn't need math help. He needs someone to show him that the world isn't ending. Child psychologists call this co-regulation. The idea that children borrow emotional stability from the adults around them, long before they can create it themselves. Think of it like this. A child's nervous system is still under construction. It doesn't yet have the inner architecture to manage big emotions alone. So when everything inside them becomes storm-like and turbulent, they look outward. They look for a calm body, a calm voice, a calm presence that says without words, "This is manageable. You are okay." If the adult in the room is also tense, tight, urgent, the child's nervous system reads that as confirmation. This is a crisis, and they spiral further. If the adult is calm, genuinely regulated calm, not performed calm, the child's system begins to mirror it. Slowly, quietly, like 2 clocks in the same room gradually synchronizing. The tool, the regulation pause. Before you respond to a child who is dysregulated, try this. Take 1 slow breath. Just 1. Soften your face. Loosen your shoulders. And instead of asking, "Why haven't you done this?" try saying, "I can see this got hard. Let's just sit here for a second." That's it. That's the whole thing. Not fixing the problem, not solving the math, not delivering a lecture about effort. Just being the calm they cannot find yet. In homes where this is practiced consistently, children don't just settle down faster. They begin to internalize that calm. It becomes their own, something they carry forward into adulthood, into their own relationships, their own hard moments. Your regulated nervous system is the first gift you give them. Way 2. Name the feeling before you fix the problem. Liam is 5 in this memory, 2 years earlier. He has lost his favorite toy, a small plastic dinosaur, green, one leg slightly chewed. He has had it since he was 3. He has looked everywhere, under the bed, between the couch cushions, in the kitchen, in the backpack. And now he is sitting in the middle of his bedroom floor, tears running silently down his face, not making a sound. Sarah comes in, surveys the room, and says what most parents would say. "Oh, honey, it's okay. We'll find it. Or we'll get you a new one, an even better one." Liam shakes his head. His face crumples. "But I want that one." "I know, but you don't know." And he cries harder, louder now. The hardest thing about watching a child in pain is the almost involuntary urge to make it stop. We reach for solutions, replacements, silver linings. We say it's okay before we've actually let them feel that it isn't. And what children hear when we do this, without meaning to, is, "Your pain is too much for me. Make it smaller. Make it go away." Over time, children who receive this message consistently learn to do exactly that. They compress their feelings. They push them down. They learn to say, "I'm fine," before they've even checked whether they are. This is where emotional intelligence begins to erode, not from neglect, but from well-meaning love that arrived a little too fast. The research on emotional validation is quiet but profound. When a child hears their feelings named accurately, not fixed, not dismissed, just named, something remarkable happens. Their emotional intensity begins to lower on its own. The feeling, once witnessed, loses some of its power. It's as if the feeling had been trying to be heard, and the moment it is heard, it can finally rest. The tool, name it to tame it. This comes from Dr. Daniel Siegel, and it's one of the most elegant and deceptively simple tools in child psychology. Name the feeling before you try to fix anything. Not, "It's okay," but "You're really sad right now." Not, "We'll get a new one," but "That dinosaur was really special to you, and losing it feels awful." Notice what you are not doing. You're not solving, you're not redirecting, you're not minimizing. You're just witnessing, accurately, warmly. When Liam hears, "You're really sad," and that makes complete sense, his nervous system doesn't need to escalate anymore. The feeling has been received. He can start to move through it rather than staying trapped inside it. And over years of this, something extraordinary builds. A child who feels consistently understood grows up believing that their inner world is understandable, that feelings are not dangerous, not shameful, not things to be hidden. That belief is the foundation of emotional confidence. Way number 3, let them fail safely. Liam is 6. It's his best friend Marcus's birthday party. There are relay races. Liam is competitive in the quiet way children sometimes are. Not loud about it, just deeply invested. He wants more than anything to win the sack race. He doesn't. He trips on the third hop and goes down hard. Other kids pass him. He finishes last. He walks to the edge of the park and sits with his back to the party, picking at the grass. Sarah watches from across the lawn. Every parent instinct in her body wants to go to him, to say it doesn't matter, to make it better. She waits. 3 minutes pass. Then 5. And then Marcus comes over. He says something. Liam shrugs. Marcus shrugs back. And then, somehow, Liam is back in the party. What Sarah gave Liam in those 5 minutes was something more valuable than comfort. She gave him the experience of surviving disappointment, of feeling the sting and discovering he didn't dissolve. Child psychologists have long understood that there is a profound difference between children who are protected from failure and children who are supported through it. Children protected from failure grow up braced. They avoid risk. They quit things early. They develop a private belief, never fully examined, that they might not be able to handle things going wrong. Children supported through failure grow up with something rarer, a quiet internal confidence. Not the confidence that says, I will always succeed, but the deeper, more resilient confidence that says, when I don't, I will be okay. That second kind of confidence is built entirely out of experience. It cannot be taught in words. It has to be lived. The tool, the debrief without rescue. When your child faces a hard moment and gets through it on their own, even imperfectly, don't rush to fill the silence with lessons. Wait until they're ready. And then, gently, ask, that looked hard. How are you feeling now? Not, see, you handled it. Not, next time try to. Just curiosity. Just acknowledgement. Just the question that says, I noticed you went through something, and I'm interested in who you are on the other side of it. Over time, this teaches children to debrief their own experiences, to reflect, to name what happened, to extract something meaningful without needing you to extract it for them. That is the beginning of emotional wisdom. Way number 4, repair when you get it wrong. Sarah has had a long day, the kind of day where every task feels like it's been slightly on fire. She's standing at the stove when Liam walks in and begins telling her, with significant detail and no apparent end in sight, about something that happened at recess involving a game of tag and a disputed rule. She says, 3 times. And then he bumps her elbow, and the pasta water tips. Liam, please, I cannot listen to this right now. He stops. His face changes. That particular kind of hurt that children carry when they realize they have become too much for someone they love. He leaves the kitchen without another word. Every parent has a moment like this. Every single one. The exhaustion snaps. The voice comes out harder than intended. The child's face falls. And the parent is left holding 2 things at once: the guilt and the very human reality that they are not a machine. Here is what most parenting conversations miss entirely. The rupture is not the damage. The absence of repair is. Research into attachment, the invisible bond between parents and children, has revealed something quietly revolutionary. Children do not need perfect parents. They need parents who, when they cause hurt, come back. The repair, the return, is where trust is actually built. Because here is what the repair teaches a child, deep in their emotional core. Relationships can survive conflict. People can hurt each other and come back. Love doesn't disappear when things go wrong. That lesson, learned through lived experience, not words, becomes the blueprint they carry into every relationship for the rest of their lives. An hour later, Sarah knocks on Liam's door. Can I come in? He's at his desk, not reading, just sitting. She sits on the edge of his bed. She doesn't immediately say anything. She just breathes. Then, I snapped at you earlier. That wasn't fair. I was stressed and tired and I took it out on you. That was my mistake, not yours. Liam looks at her. He's waiting. You were just trying to talk to me, and I made you feel like you were in the way. I'm sorry, buddy. There's a long pause. It's okay, Liam says, quietly. I appreciate that, Sarah says. But it's also okay if it still stings a little. It would sting me too. What happened in that room was not just an apology. It was a masterclass in emotional modeling. Liam just watched an adult admit they were wrong, take responsibility without deflecting, acknowledge his hurt without minimizing it, and stay, not flee, in the discomfort of having caused pain. Children who grow up witnessing this, who grow up in homes where ruptures are followed by repair, develop a relationship with conflict that most adults are still trying to build. They learn that they are not too much. They learn that the people who love them can handle getting it wrong. They learn that apologies are not weakness. They are the highest form of emotional courage. The tool, the 3-part repair. When you've gotten it wrong, and you will, because we all do, try this structure. 1. Name what you did. I raised my voice at you. Take ownership without excuses. That wasn't okay, even if I was stressed. 3. Acknowledge their experience. I imagine that felt hurtful, and I'm sorry. That's it. No lengthy explanations, no pivoting to their behavior, no, but you were also. Just clean, honest accountability. And if your child needs time before they can receive it, give them that too. The repair will reach them. It always does. Way number 5. Give them a language for their inner world. Liam is 7, quiet in the back seat on the way home from school. Sarah glances in the rearview mirror. He's looking out the window. Not upset exactly, just far away. How was school? Fine. Anything happen? No. Sarah knows something happened. She doesn't know what. Most parents at this point try one of 2 things. They press. Come on, something's wrong. You can tell me. Or they back off entirely and wait, often indefinitely, for the child to volunteer it. But there's a third approach, one that most of us were never taught, because no one taught our parents either. You give them words, not your interpretation of their experience, not your projection of what they're feeling. Just options. Gentle. Offered like a menu. You seem a little far away. That could be tired, or something on your mind, or just one of those days. Any of those feel right? A pause. Kinda the middle one. Yeah? Want to say more, or just let it sit? Just let it sit. Okay. I'm here either way. What just happened there is more significant than it looks. Sarah didn't diagnose Liam's feeling. She offered possibilities and let him choose one. She validated his right to not explain further, and she communicated the most important thing a child can know. I am not leaving. I will wait. Children who grow up in homes with rich emotional vocabulary, homes where feelings are named, discussed, and treated as real and worthy, develop something that psychologists call emotional granularity. It's the ability to distinguish between feelings that are similar but distinct, to know the difference between anxious and overwhelmed, between disappointed and hurt, between lonely and alone. This sounds abstract until you realize what it means practically. A child with a large inner vocabulary can identify what they're feeling early, before it becomes a behavior, before the tantrum, before the shutdown, before the explosion. They become their own early warning system. The tool, the feeling check-in. Once a day, at dinner, at bedtime, in the car, try asking this. What's one thing you felt today that had a name? It sounds strange at first, but over time, children begin to anticipate it. They start looking for feelings during the day, not because you've told them to, but because they want to have an answer. You can also play the feeling forecast for younger children. If today was a weather report for your feelings, what was it? Stormy, partly cloudy, sunny with a chance of something weird? Silly, but profound. You are building a habit of emotional self-awareness, and you are doing it in the gentlest, most natural way possible, through ordinary conversation. Over years, this becomes the foundation of emotional intelligence, not something they learn in a class, something they inhabit, like a mother tongue. Here is the truth we sometimes need permission to hear. You are not raising a child to be perfect.
You are raising them to be capable of feeling hard things without being destroyed by them, capable of failing without losing faith in themselves, capable of saying, "I'm not okay," and knowing that saying it is strength, not weakness. That kind of child doesn't come from a parenting book. They come from 1,000 ordinary moments, a pause before speaking, a name given to a feeling, a return after an argument, a willingness to wait while they find their words. Sarah will not get every moment right. Neither will you. But Liam doesn't need Sarah to be perfect. He needs her to keep showing up, to repair when she breaks things, to stay curious about who he is becoming, to remain through all of it, a calm, consistent presence that says without words, "You are not alone in here." That is enough. That is more than enough. A child who grows up feeling seen, heard, and emotionally safe doesn't just become calm and confident. They become the kind of person who can make other people feel safe. And isn't that the deepest gift we could ever give the world? If something in this video landed for you, if it brought up a memory, a parenting moment, or something you wish someone had said to you when you were small, I'd really love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. You don't have to share everything, even just a word. And if you know a parent who's doing their best, who could use a little grace and a little perspective tonight, maybe send this to them. Not because they're doing it wrong, but because they're trying. And trying deserves to be seen. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one.